Okay, let's review chapter 5 of your quiz for the legal environment of business. We'll work through this real quick so we can start on another one soon. Question number 1. Elvin publishes a book titled First Place, which includes a chapter of Frank's copyrighted book, Olympic Winners and Losers. Elvin's use of the chapter's actionable provided. The correct answer is Elvin does not have Frank's permission. So, I mean, the question tells us that he actually copied a chapter in the book, and you can't do that. So if he didn't have Frank's permission to do so, it's actionable. Question number 2. A beverage company that competes with Coca-Cola Company cannot call its products Coke, K-O-K-E, as opposed to Coke, C-O-K-E. And that was true. You can't mislead a consumer, and I think if a beverage company named their company Coke with a K, then I think that would violate the copyright laws because it's misleading to the consumer. And so that question's true. Question number 3: Picasso is very creative and spends lots of time creating new things. Which of the following is not copyrightable? And the correct answer is Picasso's ideal for a new way to paint. The options were a movie about Picasso, a book about Picasso, a sculpture of Picasso's dog, and that's the thing that's not copyrightable. It's the question tells us, or that one of the answers tells us that it's simply an ideal. So you can't copyright an ideal yet. You've got to. The other things are actual creations of work or art, like a movie is created, a book, and the sculpture is there, but the ideal hasn't done anything yet. So the answer is Picasso's ideal for a new way to paint. Question number 4. Students who purchase their textbooks are allowed to sell their textbooks as used after the semester thanks to which of the following below? First sale doctrine. The correct answer is first sale doctrine. This limits the rights of a intellectual property owner to what can be done after someone buys that limits the rights of the resale of the product, and that gives us the ability to sell a textbook or to sell a book that we've already bought. Next question. George copies J.R.R.'s book, fantasy novel, in its entirety and sells it to Unscrupulous Books Incorporated without J.R.R.'s permission. Unscrupulous publishes it under George's name. This is obviously a copyright infringement. Question number 6. Carbon Copies is found guilty of counterfeiting designer handbags. Which of the following ways might they be punished? And it's all of the above, or all of the answers. And the answers are imprisonment up to 10 years and forfeiture of all counterfeit goods for destruction. And this is a criminal violation. It's also a copyright infringement. So that's the reason they throw in imprisonment of up to 10 years, because it is a criminal violation. Question number 7. This occurs when someone registers a domain name online that is similar to someone else's trademark name and then attempts to sell the domain name back to the trademark owner, and that's cyber squatting. Cyber squatting, that's the exact definition that's in your chapter. Question number 8. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1998 extends protection to many U.S. companies that create entertainment content, but it also limits the liability of what organizations, provided they follow all the law as well. So it limits the liability, limits the ability to sue a company, and the correct answer is internet service providers. As long as internet service providers does what they're supposed to do, you can't. Their liability is going to be limited. The next question. This international agreement was signed into law in 2003, and its purpose was to simplify and reduce the cost of trademark registration around the world. And the correct answer is Madrid Protocol. Madrid Protocol. Question number 10. Mary Kate Corporation allows Ashley Company to use Mary Kate's trademark as part of Ashley's domain name. This is actually an example of a license. So a license, when you give a licensee authorization to work from an original copyright owner, that's a license. Question number 11. A license permits the use of another's intellectual property for certain limited purposes, and that's what we just discussed. So that question is true. Question number 12. To be patentable, An invention, discovery, or design must be novel, useful, and not obvious in light of current technology. And that's true. You can't come up with something just in general and make it patentable because it's not specific enough. So that answer is true. Question number 13: a customer list is not a trade secret, and that's false, because a selective accumulation of detailed, valuable information about sellers or buyers, it's an asset to a company, and it's considered a trade secret. Next question: Mr. Caffeine develops a new coffee maker that he names True Brew. He also writes an operating manual for the machine. Mr. Caffeine can obtain trademark protection for, so you can't do it for the operating manual, but you can get trademark protection for the name True Brew because that's unique. And if it hasn't been used before, you can get trademark protection for that. All the other stuff you can't though. The last question: which of the following cannot be registered as a trade name? Your options are bananas and strawberries investment partnership, watermelon vine certified public accountant, and blueberries. So here, the correct answer is blueberries. You can't register blueberries as a trade name because there's nothing specific about it. It's got to be unusual and distinct um, for you to be able to trademark a name. So, for example, Safeway, the grocery store chain Safeway, that was actually disputed, but the court ruled that Safeway was distinct enough, and they were able to use it as a trademark name. And that's just one example. But blueberries, just the name blueberries, without even like saying what type of service that you provide, it's certainly not distinct, and there's no way you'd ever be able to register that as a trade name. Okay, that's all of Chapter 5, and we'll see you in Chapter 6 soon. Any questions, again, call me anytime. Thank you.